Hi everyone, so today I want to make a review of this Evercross electric scooter for around $650 online. So a very good bargain for its specs. The most impressive thing about this scooter, of course, is the top speed of 28 miles per hour. You read it right, 28 miles per hour, not kilometers per hour. So this is around 45 kilometers per hour, which is unheard of in the entry-level to mid-range electric scooter. The Ninebot Max can only reach 90 miles per hour officially on stock, although you can, install custom firmware to get up to 23 miles per hour, but still nowhere near this speed. And for me, yes, I get 28 miles per hour on the flat surface. If you are heavier, you might get 25, 26, but still very fast speed for its price of around $650. And on a downhill, I don't even know the top speed because I have to brake before it gets too dangerous. But I think it can get at least 35 miles per hour or 50 kilometers per hour downhill, which is pretty fast and also dangerous. And then this has a 800 watt motor and at 48 volts. The Ninebot Max is 36 volts, but the Ninebot Max, the black one, the original one, has a bigger battery than this one. That one has a range of 40 miles, 30 miles, but this one has a rated range of 25 miles. Again, real world is different. Take it as a grain of salt. But 25 miles still better than most entry-level scooter at this price. But for pure climbing is actually worse than the Ninebot Max for some reason. Maybe because of the motor is only rated at 10A. So the on the deepest hill close to me, which is I believe somewhere between 10% to 15% grade, this scooter can reach 10 miles per hour, which is better than some of the entry levels such as the E22 or E25. Those can only reach 5 miles per hour, but the Ninebot Max stock can actually reach 12 miles per hour uphill. So even the stock Ninebot Max is a better hill climber than this one, and the flashed Ninebot Max can actually reach 16 miles per hour up that hill. So the Ninebot Max is the best hill climber in its class. It flies up the hill. So even though this has a very high top speed, but its hill climbing ability is not very good. And then this one on paper again way better than Ninebot Max. But in reality, there's some other things that of course is not as good. So this one comes with two front and rear solid tires. They are 10 inches. This is the second edition. I think the first edition has pneumatic air tires, but I think because a lot of people getting flat and it's hard to change it, so that's why they switch it to solid. I myself is a fan of solid. You don't have to maintain it, and also you don't have to worry about flats. And then it has front and rear disc brakes. So on paper it's very good. So you can see the disc brakes over here. I know it's hard to see. Um, and the Ninebot Max has front drum brakes and rear electronic brake. This one also has an electronic brake in the rear. This is rear wheel drive, rear motor. Most entry-level scooter is front wheel drive or front motor. And then, but again, I think it looks kind of weird for a regular e-scooter. I think it shares the look with some other brands, maybe clone brands or whatever. But at first, I think it kind of looks ugly, but now I think it looks okay. Um, I mean, of course, it looks totally different than the Ninebot Max. And it has a seat, it comes with a seat already. You don't have to pay extra, it's in the box. Because the Ninebot Max, it doesn't come with a seat, you have to buy it separately. And for this scooter at 28 miles per hour, basically, it's a must to get a seat. I couldn't emphasize this enough, especially if you're a beginner. Having a seat is way, way, way more stable and way, way, way safer. It's simple physics, lower center of gravity, and less likely to fall over the handlebar. And then the thing is, so this one again, 650 include everything already, including the seat. The Ninebot Max is actually over $300 more expensive at around $900 without the seat. With the seat is over $1,000, so pretty crazy. Another thing is that this one has a pretty high ground clearance is around 5.5 inches. The Ninebot Max only has 2.5 inches. But in my opinion, I prefer the Ninebot Max because it's way, way, way more stable than this one, especially at high speed. Some people complain about the Ninebot Max having too little of a ground clearance, so that whenever they hit something like jump off the curb or obstacle, it's not that great, but actually that's actually a plus. I think Ninebot Max is probably the most stable scooter you can ever find because of the huge battery and only 2.5-inch ground clearance. This one is like it's kind of wobbling at high speed, so that's why I think Ninebot Max is actually better in that regard. And then the handlebar itself, it looks kind of weird as well, especially this part over here. It looks kind of weird. It's like a, I don't know, like a knighting sign. I mean, metal, silver, and this is the mechanism to fold and unfold the scooter. There's a safety pin over here. I'm not going to show you how to fold it. You can watch other pictures online or videos because it's a two-hand operation. And then the handlebar again is adjustable height. So this is right now is at maximum height because I'm sure no one gonna ride this at the lowest height because it's pretty low. Even at the highest height, it's still, I think it's still kind of the same as the Ninebot Max height. And especially if you're standing up, there's no way you can lower it. Even sitting down, I still use the max height because I get used to the Ninebot Max. And then the mirror doesn't come with it. It's a separate aftermarket item. And then the handlebar is pretty wide. And then, you can collapse. The handlebar is collapsible. You can fold the handlebar down by pressing this thing over here. You can see the arrows over here. I'm not gonna do this right now because I mean I have things installed, so I cannot even do that. And then another flaw is that where this thing over here actually touches the wiring harness or whatever you call that. It's hard to see over here. It's pretty dark. But when you try to turn, this thing is rubbing. So definitely weird, not something you should see in any scooter. And then this one, and another thing is that it uses a key. So you need a key to activate or turn it on. So kind of a high-end stuff. I mean, some even higher end. I mean, it's a high-end feature. So you just put this in here, you turn it, and then you hold this button, and then it will turn on. As you can see, this is the display over here. I think it looks similar to some high-end display. It shows a lot of information compared to the Ninebot Max. So if you press the M, it will change the gear. Basically, it's just drive modes. There's no gear in this electric scooter. 3 is like sport mode. 1 is eco. 2 is normal. For gear 1, eco mode, the top speed is 10 miles per hour and slower acceleration. Gear 2, top speed is 20 miles per hour. Gear 3, top speed is 28 miles per hour. Actually, I put this on a table and freewheeling it, and it can reach 31 miles per hour on top of a table with the wheels just, rotating on itself. But on the ground, it can reach around 28 miles per hour. And of course, depends on the incline and also your weight. And then if you keep pressing this, it will show, let's say here is the odometer reading. This is, I think, is the battery temperature or something like that. This is, I don't know. And then this is the on time. So I've turned this on for a minute something. And then this is the trip computer. This is the battery. I have to say the battery is not very accurate, just FYI. You cannot show the percentage as well, even if you're charging. And here, miles per hour, and you can also see, it's hard to see right now, you can also see the cruise control and the zero start function. So if you hold this thing, so there's a light button, signal turn on, and it turns on the ambient lighting. It's up to you whether you like it or not. I think it looks cool, but I probably won't use it even at night. And then you hold M again to turn it off. And then here it has an electric horn. And then this is the turn signal. So something very rare, not even high-end scooter has turn signals. And then the right signals, as you can see over here. And then you turn it off again, and then you press this, it will turn on the headlight. As you can see, it's pretty low on the ground. Not sure I like that. And then if you turn it on, it also turns on the rear light. And then if you press the brake, it will be brighter. So there's 2 brakes, of course, front and rear disc brakes, and you can, either one brake will already activate the brake light, as you can see. And then you can turn it off again. And then if you hold this two button over here, it will go into the P setting. So I don't remember exactly what it says, but the settings here, it just you can set the cruise control mode on and off, the turn off time, so how long will the scooter turn off by itself when it's not running, and then also zero start feature, and also reset everything, and also miles per hour or kilometers per hour, and then press this, you return it. So a lot of information compared to the Ninebot Max. It's just the battery is not very accurate, and then you turn the key, it will turn it off, and no one can ride your scooter, although they can still push it, I believe. So you still need a lock if you go to the store or something. And then the seat is actually pretty good. I think it's more comfortable than the Ninebot Max seat or other scooter seat. You can take off the seat, or not. You can also fold it. If you fold this, you have to fold the seat. And then in order to take off the seat, you have to unscrew the screw over there. Again, it has 10-inch solid tire, so maybe that's the reason why this is not as stable as the Ninebot Max. But I think the major reason is it's pretty high off the ground, which makes it pretty unstable. But for the price, $650 is a very good deal. $300 cheaper than the Ninebot Max, even though it's way faster than the Ninebot Max. And it comes with a seat, and if you like solid tire, that's great. And then it has so many high-end features, such as the turn signal, the key entry, adjustable stem height, and foldable handlebar, and so on and so forth. And then, but the thing here, the step over here, this is like sandpaper, so it's really cheap and low quality, and you don't even want to touch that because it's basically sandpaper. Most other scooters is a rubberized, so pretty cheap. And then also another complaint is this thing over here. This kickstand basically is very useless. I mean, if the ground is slightly inclined or whatever, it basically the scooter will fall. So this is a very bad design, and it put it on the rear wheel, so pretty weird. And this one again has the front and rear shocks or suspension, which the Ninebot Max doesn't even have any. But the shock is not very good, I would say. It's better than nothing. But that's why I say it's very good on paper. It does everything: front and rear suspension, 10-inch tires, very high top speed, turn signal, key entry, whatever. But not on paper. The Ninebot Max is better, of course. That's why it's $300 more expensive. And I think that one most likely lasts way longer than this. I'm not sure the longevity of this one. I think there's some online review. I mean, there's good and bad. The bad ones say they don't last long, but I'm not sure. But a few people say they're still running after a year or two. So is your decision to make whether to get this over the Ninebot Max or not? This is like a lot cheaper and on paper much better than the Ninebot Max. I would say the build quality is not that bad, but I think some parts, this is cheap, and then this part actually the screen, the displays here, this plastic is really cheap as well. And then not sure the material over here. I saw some people this part break, so not sure about that. And it's just weird. This part is kind of weird looking. And definitely the Ninebot Max feel much nicer. That's why the price is cheaper. And then another thing is the battery. The power brick is actually pretty cheap built, cheaply built. It's very cheap plastic. I never seen something that cheap before, but and that's the power brick. And then the charging port is actually on the other side, is over here on the other side, and the cover is actually very filmy as well. I think it's hard to see, but it's very filmy, the charging port. So something to keep in mind as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, the seat already come broken here when it arrives, so another quality issue over here. But the seat again is very comfortable, and it has a very good shock absorber as well. So all in all, I mean, so far so good. I don't know, long term, maybe something, it seems too good to be true for 28 miles per hour for $650. I mean, some $1,000 or $1,500 scooter cannot even reach that speed. But the hill climbing again is not that great. But anyway, this is my review of the Evercross electric scooter. I think the model is H5 or HB24, something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a nice day.